Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, JV, coming to you live this Monday morning. Today is August 24th. No, that's actually August 26th. Scratch that. I totally forgot my dates. 2024. I'm getting ready to head out to the gymnasium. But before I do that, I wanted to make a video about how society judges us men who are single, who don't have any kids, who live with our parents, and they basically treat us like second-class citizens. They look at us and laugh at us because we don't fit the normal standards of the traditional family that is evaporating, by the way, as we go from one generation to the next. Each generation changes their own parameters and the whole definition of what a traditional family is, but society still, to this day, they continue to judge us and tell us that we are not worthy, that we don't have the same privileges as married people do. That's why you see all these, for example, let me just give you one example, these child tax credits that were so popular during the pandemic that supposedly lifted a lot of families up from poverty, and they took them out of poverty and they became on the perimeter or on the periphery of becoming middle class status. Where was that tax protection for single people? I understand that children need to be taken care of, and sometimes parents obviously have to go to work and they have to leave their parents behind, and during the pandemic school was not in session, but still a lot of these parents were not able to work because of the pandemic. They were not able to go to their traditional office buildings and work 9-to-5 jobs. They had to stay at home and work from home, and until this day, by the way, so many people actually stayed in that routine. Many companies became smart. They used common sense and they said to themselves, why are we going to be paying so much money in rent on these huge buildings and apartment complexes or office complexes that we have to provide for our employees, when we can save all that money and just have a large portion of our workforce work from their own home. And that's basically what happened. To this day, many people that used to work in, like I mentioned, traditional offices, they work from home now. So why try to extend that child tax credit? And that's one of the benefits that the government believes people that are married should have. But what about us single people that don't have any kids? Where are our benefits? Not that I'm asking for government assistance. All I'm saying is that if you're going to be helping couples that have children just because they're in a traditional marriage, if you're going to help them, then single people should get some sort of assistance as well that's comparable to what these married couples are getting. So we always tend to get shafted. We always tend to get scoffed at for not having children, for deciding not to have families. And it's a way of, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, it is a way of punishment by the powers that be, by society in general. They probably ask themselves, what is wrong with that person? How is it possible that at the age of, in his mid-40s, he still doesn't have a family? He still hasn't gotten married. He still doesn't have any kids. He's still living with his parents. How is that even possible that this is happening? Why is he not getting in with the rest of people, get married at the age of 20, have raised children at the age of 30, and then have a family and have a career established by then? That's what I mean when I say this. And you know, when I meet friends, for example, childhood friends that I haven't seen in decades, and I see them at the gym or I see them at the grocery store, the first question that comes out of their, or the second question that comes out of their mouth after they ask me how how I've been doing all this time, the second question that they always ask me is, "Have you gotten married? Are you married now? Do you have any children?" It just never fails. It is like programming our brains to be at a certain lifestyle by the time we hit a certain age. It just never fails. And I always tell them, no, I haven't gotten married. I'm still single. I don't have any children. And their responses are, sometimes they tell me in a sarcastic way, good, don't get married. Don't have any children. Stay the way that you are. And then other times I get responses like, well, why is it that you don't have a wife at this juncture, or why don't you have any kids right now? Is there a particular reason? Which I just find incredible when I get those types of responses. But it is a way of judging. It is a way of putting you down, basically, for not living that traditional lifestyle that our ancestors or our relatives, our grandfathers and parents grew up in. And I'm just not going to subscribe to that way of living. Each and every one of us individually should choose our paths and how we want to live our lives, and we should ignore what society says as far as whether something is right or something is wrong. But yeah, I just every time I see somebody, they always ask me that question. As a matter of fact, last week at the gym, I saw a childhood friend of mine that I probably hadn't seen in about 25, 30 years. I couldn't even recognize me. He actually was able to recognize me and approach me and ask me for, asked me if I was such and such, and I told him yes. And I immediately started remembering who he was. And the second question, I'm telling you, that's the second question that came out of his mouth is, are you married or do you have any kids? And he's the one who actually said, that I made the wise decision of not getting married and not having any kids, because he's on his second marriage right now. He actually got divorced from his first wife. He got married at a very early age, very young age. I think he was like 19 when he got married, and he's been divorced a long time ago from that first wife, and now he's on his second wife, and I believe he has like 6 children right now. I mean, he's living a good life. However, he is living a good life. His children now are in his oldest son, I believe, is 23. His daughter is probably like in her early 20s. But why would he say, that I've made the wise decision not to get married and not to have children? I don't know. I think that's a very telling phrase there from him, or a very telling response from my answer that I gave him to his original question. But yeah, they laugh at us. Society in general. They always ask the question, how is it possible that guy or that woman, that male or female, how is it possible that at their age they're still single? There must be something wrong with them. They must have not fully matured their brains to become adults. And in my opinion, everybody has the prerogative to live their lives however they want to live. And in my case, I choose this lifestyle because I'm content. I'm happy. I'm at peace with myself. And once I finish paying off my debt, it's gonna be total freedom and liberty for myself. But anyway, just wanted to have a little Monday morning discussion about this very important and interesting topic. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Thank you for all of your support. Have a great Monday.